How blessed are we? Quick story. A few years ago, the Environmental Action Group here at UCR held a special summit about climate justice. And welcome to the chancellor and expert in composting. She explained passionately the many benefits of composting, from improving soil and water quality to reducing landfills and disposal costs, and overall building a stronger food system through the use of quality compost. And I have to say, I was sold. Right then and there, I got it. Light bulb went off. Got it. I heard the good news, and we started to compost. Thankfully, I live in an area where there's a service called Compost Crew that will come and pick up our household compost for about $5 a week. They come on Sunday nights. They take everything: food scraps, bones, coffee grounds, rotten and moldy food, paper napkins, pencil shavings, chopsticks, and even yard debris. They also take, much to my children's horror, nail clippings and human hair. So, every week, I brush out my hair. No, I'm kidding. Every week, we fill up the provided bucket and put it out for collection. And the strangest thing happened. Our garbage no longer is stinky. Like completely odorless. Without any organic material, nothing was rotting in there, so no more smell, right? Right? My children? Right? I got a shrug. Awesome. I didn't realize that would happen, and it was a great and welcomed surprise. And since we recycle, paper and hard plastic, cardboard, glass, everything we can, what I also didn't realize was what was left in now the non-stinky garbage. What was it? Plastic. That's exactly right. Thin plastic. A lot of thin plastic. Plastic wrappers from cereal bags, vegetables and fruit bags, plastic baggies of frozen foods, and if you go to Trader Joe's, things like veggie rice mix and frozen asparagus. Other yummy things from the places that we love. Plastic, so much plastic. It breaks my heart to go to a store and see a wall of vegetables and fruit and prepared food in plastic bags. After watching bag after bag of garbage filled with nothing more than plastic, I can't bring myself to buy there anymore. This is where my children call me a big old hippie. I'll take that. They think it's making fun of me. I do not. And we'll happily walk to the farmer's market or any other store each and every time for produce that doesn't come shrink-wrapped. Where does all of this come from? In just 60 years, can you imagine? Plastic didn't come into our lives until 60 years ago on a mass level. 60 years since the widespread use of plastics, mass production has created 8.3 billion with a B metric tons of the stuff. And how much of that is actually recycled? Want to guess? Less than 10%, that is correct. Plastic takes how many years to degrade? Correct. At least 400 years, with 5.2 trillion macro and micro pieces ending up in the oceans and creating things like the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Have you heard of this? It's 3 times the size of France. Gross. Just gross. As one of the climate justice activists mentioned, it's an immoral injustice. And beloveds, we are out of covenant with our earth. We're out of covenant with our children and our children's children. That is the reason why we say, as Unitarian Universalists, we are a people of covenant. It is a freely chosen vow to be in community, to be in communion with each other and our sacred interdependence. That interdependence that we honored in the ritual today. When we say we are out of covenant, it's when we have fallen short of our best selves, treated each other with disrespect, cruelty, indifference, or simply not showing up. Oftentimes, being out of covenant with each other occurs when we put our needs first and disregard the good of the whole. The toxic individualism that mucks up the wheels of our collective workings. The toxic individualism that can fester even in the best of us. And we are a people of grace. My staff hears me say it all the time. Grace abounds, grace abounds, grace abounds. We are a people of grace, which means the door to returning back to covenant is always open. We strive to be a people of forgiveness, of compassion, and radical welcome. And this is not some pie-in-the-sky, lofty ideal, even though I'm called Chaplain Pollyanna in the military. But the very real, messy, and hard work of being human in relationship with each other. So when I say that we are out of covenant with the earth, that means that we as a species are failing to do our part to sustain this sacred stewardship. What is most important here is to remember that we are each a precious child of creation. What we do matters. Each and every day. From every micro choice to macro life orientation, these all matter, which give me hope. On a United Nations page dedicated to climate justice, there's a picture at the top with children holding a sign saying, "Don't mess with my future." And one world, one chance. But the page goes on to explain 8 reasons to not give up hope and to take climate action today, now, here. First, electric vehicles are on the rise. Woohoo! I have a dream of having a charging station here in the parking lot. The cost is going down for low-emission technologies. Mitigation laws are expanding. By 2020, 56 countries passed direct climate laws, covering 53% of global emissions. Come on now, that's good news. Next, it's still possible to change industrial emissions, and cities present a huge opportunity for climate action. Economic measures are being deployed. And finally, the UN reports that people care. People care about this issue, and they're engaged in climate action. They care, we care, many care, and that makes a difference. So today, we listened to our youth climate activists. We listened to their exhortations. We listened to them when they bemoan the state of the world. And every small and grand act or choice or shift or tiny movement we can make towards giving them a brighter future is an act of courageous love. Today we began again in love by partaking in the shared ritual of interdependence. We begin again in love today by doing our part and returning to covenant, remembering it's never too late and there's always time. Climate justice is racial justice. Climate justice is class justice. Climate justice is intersectional. And so, beloveds, on this day, to live a faithful life is to remember and to be reminded and to come back to covenant that we are all interconnected to our ancestors and for future generations to come. May this day bless your spirit and refresh our commitment to climate justice. Amen. Blessed be, and Ashe.